The bare minimum is way more than most employers are entitled to. By paying poverty wages and expecting the bare minimum, the boss is already obscenely entitled. If what they pay isn't enough for the worker to survive, then the work provided should not be enough for the business to survive. They want you to go above and beyond in your work, but won't go above and beyond in pay and benefits. Yes, I still see even the more left-leaning people lecture each other about doing the job you're paid to do, or getting mad if some retail worker isn't up to par. It's on the buyer to pay the price required for labor, not the labor to convince the buyer to pay them properly. Absolutely. I don't provide the bare minimum because my employer deserves it. I provide the bare minimum to keep my job. Ideally, providing the bare minimum would get me job security, but we know that's never guaranteed. The trick is to appear to be doing the bare minimum, while also constantly committing small acts of sabotage to ensure you're a net negative asset. We've fetishized business owners for so long that we start to think they can do no wrong. The irony is that a lot of people detest the idea of a welfare state, even though it's this endless pursuit of capitalism that has meant that people can't afford to live on their salaries anymore. There are absolutely some stellar companies and business owners around, but they're very much in the minority, and I imagine that 0% of them are traded publicly, where the imperative is on pure profit and more every year. At bare minimum, a job should earn you enough to provide shelter, food, and utilities. Anything less that is violating the social contract between workforce and employer. Do the bare minimum. Here's your standard raise. Have a nice day. Go above and beyond. Wow, you really did extra and we saw your effort. However, a big raise just isn't in the budget this year. You just need to put in your dues. We unfortunately didn't hit our goals. You're at your max pay. Sorry, you're making more than me at your age. I'm actually jealous. We really appreciate you though. If what they pay isn't enough for the worker to survive, then the work provided should not be enough for the business to survive. Fire. I actually like my job, public school teacher, but I learned early on that I can either do a good enough job and impact a handful of kids, or I can bust my balls, work unpaid hours at the expense of my family time and impact the exact same number of kids. Easy call. Lay flat and pet the fish. I'm already convinced the bare minimum has been inflated, and they know this. 20-somethings can far outperform some 50-year-old. We grew up being hounded about being exceptional. So now that we're asking to be paid that, we sound entitled. Because they're still paying what they considered entry-level at their age. The world population has exponentially grown. So even burger flippers are serving 35x the amount of people. Because the bare minimum is not objective, and under the purview of the employer. When economics is involved, extraction is the goal, not equity. The difference between market justice and social justice. Oh yes. If you can do less than the bare minimum, please do. Remember, if they could pay you less, they would. And wage theft is the highest theft in the nation. Do less than the minimum. Screw 'em. I did this in my last job for 2 years until I realized that that employer didn't value me nearly as much as the value I was delivering to them each day. When they gave me a 2.75% raise and started bragging about how star-spangled awesome it was that I got as much as I did, despite the fact that inflation was 8% that year and my department had helped the company post its highest profits of any year ever. That's what I put my resume out on the market and decided to pound sand.
If you enjoyed this video, Please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.